Peace and love, family. I am Conscious Plat. I am your radio host for the Conscious Plat Hour. I am also a singer, writer, and poet. And thank you for joining me today. Today's program will be a very special program. I will await the guests to arrive. And, once again, we will speak about many things that are taking place in 2012 and beyond, as well as health and wellness. So we will cover many areas, things that are very crucial to our existence. And, I want to say, I can give you a few titles which represent today's guest, Dr. Phil Valentine. He is a metaphysical health activist. He's a doctor of hygienic sciences, doctor of naturopathic medicine, a clinical hypnotherapist, but those titles are merely a fraction of who he is. You don't encounter a being of this magnitude very often. So, I'd like to say he's truly a remarkable individual who has committed himself to equip others with knowledge while providing the gateway to reach a higher consciousness. Now, that's my analysis of him. But I will say, without any further ado, I want to bring to you the master teacher, Dr. Phil Valentine. Greetings, Dr. Valentine, and welcome to the program. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for your invitation.
Yes, sir. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Well, thank you very much. And I want to begin with, I know I sent message to you and I heard a lot about your whole wellness center. And I myself had a health issue that was very serious, life-threatening, which I am free from. I'm completely free from that ailment. But I know that it's very important to focus on health. And there's so many toxins out, in the air and the pollution and many different things. So that is why we definitely need to focus on health. So Dr. Valentine, what I would like to do first, if you don't mind, is speak about your whole wellness center, which promotes Juice Plus and a few other things. And then later into the program, I would like to go into what we should expect for 2012 and beyond, okay?
No doubt.
All right.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. And what I would like to first say is that the Whole Wellness Live Center is actually an offshoot of our Self-Healing Education Center, which again is another offshoot from the Heal Thyself Natural Living Education Center in Brooklyn that began with Queen Afua and myself. We created a program there called the 21-Day Juice Feasting Program. We also created another program called the Sacred Woman. And, of course, from that point, we dovetailed into the Temple of the Healing Spirit, which essentially added on the University of Commission Sciences, the other one for the Institute for Self-Mastery in Arcane Sciences, and of course the Whole Wellness Live, which is a resurrection of the Self-Healing Education Center. What we've done, we used to have one-to-one contact with the people of our community, but since we moved to Florida and our client base grew, we've had to go cyber, as it were. And so we essentially deal with everyone now on the Internet. When we are dealing with people around the world, we have clientele around the world. So the Whole Wellness Live Center deals with natural healing in the form of hygienic science and classical naturopathy, which does not deal with any drugs. We don't even lead into any therapeutics with herbs because in accordance with our philosophy, herbs are also a form of drugs. So we use food as the basic foundation for healing, and how to use food as medicines, as what we do in hygienic science. How do we use the fire, air, water, and earth, or the elements of which we are constructed, the four foundational elements, and the personality that each challenge, we don't call it a disease, each health challenge dictates. So we know that each challenge, or what they call disease, has a signature that is representative of a particular form of communication that the body is doing, making, and it is up to us to decipher and decode and translate that information. The body speaks in languages, and it speaks in languages that are based on effects and symptoms. Each symptom is a language, has its own specific personality, and if you understand how the body communicates, you will know what the body needs. On the other side, of course, is medical science, who has grown to become very efficient at trauma medicine. Of course, their society was built up on war, conquest, violence, so they had to be good at patching people together. They've become very efficient at sewing on limbs, knowing how to heal burns and so forth, get out bullets and stab wounds, because this is the essence of what their society represented. But as far as healing from dis-ease, they have no clue. And their use of drugs and that type of philosophy of heroic medication has kind of bled over into the natural healing community, where we use herbs for symptoms. And herbs, which are toxic in nature and have very few nutrients, which the body really needs, uses the alkaloids, which are essentially created by the plants for the plant's own protection in the wild. So an herbalist is essentially one who knows how to manipulate the toxoids and the alkaloids and the poisonous elements of plants to enlist a palliative effect. And we no longer do that. And if we do, it's because we use herbs as a transition or a kind of a segue into natural healing, because if we're dealing with someone who's been on drugs for 5 or 10 years, it's very difficult to tell them to stop or to even, try to take nutrients, because the body is not only suffering from the symptom of the disease, but also from the symptoms created by the drugs that were given to them by the doctor. So we have to sometimes tell, because we're also herbalists, though we don't use herbs, we know how to use herbs as a segue product in order to help people to detox from the medical drugs that they've been on. And so, yes, we believe, we know, and according to our philosophy, that we need to have health before we can do anything, before we can have peace on earth. Most of the people who are trying to broker peace, if you were to walk in to the rooms that these leaders are meeting, what you will meet is at least 40 different types of alcoholic beverages, all types of sugar products, donuts, all kinds of meat products, nothing hardly live, and if they do have a salad, it's probably all genetically engineered. So here you are, we're putting the fate of our planet in the hands of people who walk into rooms and fill their bellies with toxins and expect their minds to reach some kind of accord with peace. That's why we can't have any peace on earth, because most of the people who are supposedly brokering that peace are full of crap and full of alcohol and full of themselves. So yes, we do have a lot of things to work through, and the upliftment of our people is based upon our people becoming more knowledgeable and more intelligent in their approach to healing and health.
Absolutely. And, as I was listening to you speak, a couple of questions were coming to mind, and that was, can you tell me the importance, and I've done some studies on the importance of pH balance, and, there are also things such as alkaline water, the benefits of those types of things. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Surely. Again, we have to be careful about people taking advantage of